And we might hear ourselves talking back. Just a second. Okay. All right. Hello and welcome to our webinar with Vidcode. And we're going to learn about JavaScript. We're going to learn about Vidcode. We've got teachers here. We've got librarians here. We've got Fab Lab directors here. We're all really excited. We have a K through 12 tech coach here. All kinds of fun stuff. And I'm Colleen from Makey Makey. And as you can see with my Makey Makey shirt. And if you haven't used Makey Makey, I'd kind of be surprised you're here, but we're going to talk about how we can program this controller with JavaScript, thanks to these lovely, our lovely leaders here from Vidcode. So Allie and Leandra, can you tell us a little bit about Vidcode?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everyone so much for joining. My name is Allie and I'm co-founder and CEO of Vidcode. And I'll go ahead and just introduce a little bit about what our mission is and how we went about working on Vidcode. And then I'll pass it to my co-founder, Leandra, who is going to walk everyone today through a demo that you can leave today's session with and go use in your classroom or at home. And it involves the Makey Makey as well as Vidcode's JavaScript curriculum. So we're excited to do that with you today. So just a little introduction about, who Vidcode is as a company. And a good way to start is, Leandra and I, we started this company 7 years ago. And we met up at a hackathon, really with a shared mission to create an online coding platform that appealed as strongly to teen girls as it does to teen boys. And this was a little while ago. But that mission really brought us together. And over the course of that hackathon, we kind of built the vaporware for Vidcode. And one of the kind of core ideas and things we were working on was using multimedia really as the canvas for coding. And so a lot of the tutorials that you're going to see today on Vidcode do just that. They use multimedia as the canvas for coding. And so how that works is students can upload photos and videos and audio assets and start really remixing those assets with JavaScript. It will start with a drag and drop environment. So a lot of schools use us after Scratch or code.org or a block-based environment. And then we, in a very kind of scaffolded way, teach kids how to start writing their own text-based programming. And all the while they're making different projects like interactive memes, augmented reality games. They can make regular video games. They're making human-computer interaction projects. So a lot of different open-ended projects, all with design and technology at the center. And that kind of academic term for this is media computation, a term that was coined at Georgia Tech. I saw a couple Georgia teachers here. And it's just a research-backed way to introduce really robust programming to newcomers in a way that appeals to a broad audience and has a kind of low floor, high ceiling environment. So here at Vidcode, we're big fans of media computation. And so today we're going to explore how you can fuse hardware and software to make a video change color depending on the inputs that you create. So there's so much that kids and we as adults can build when it comes to screens and physical computing and making them interact and talk to each other and talk to our audience. It just, the possibilities are really endless. So with that in mind, I will pass it over to Leandra, and she's going to show you guys how you can create your own accounts to access the lesson plans and materials today. And then we'll definitely answer questions and have some discussion at the end of the tutorial as well. So thanks again, everyone. I'll pass it to Leandra.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us, Colleen. We're really excited to be joining Makey Makey on this webinar and really introducing this new course. So this is a new course for us. It was released in January 2021 and is free for the rest of the year for everyone here and all of your students. And I'm just really excited that it's out there and being used in the world. It's our first physical computing course. So it's the first time that we've actually had a course that integrates hardware and software on Vidcode. We've had teachers doing it forever. We've had teachers making Makey projects on their own forever. But we're just really excited to have like an actual course for it.
Hey,
so go ahead and
can I add that I really, one thing that we, the Makey Makey team, like about Vidcode that we think is really cool is your ability to like remix content. So we know a lot of times teachers are using Scratch for Makey Makey because, you know, you can drag and drop, like you said, is how one thing you're doing. Also, that whole idea of remixing and repurposing things is really in line with our philosophy. So I think that's something really cool for everyone who's new to Vidcode and hadn't seen your tutorials yet. I also think just because we have some people that may not know, can you give us an artist definition of physical computing? I say that to like, you know, like a version of what is physical computing? What do you guys consider that?
Oh, interesting. I guess this idea that you can create your own computational devices. So you don't have to be limited by this traditional like screen, keyboard, like does everything. Like there are ways to make devices that are more specific to the things that you're creating. And yeah, and have like very different inputs.
Yeah, that's a great definition. And actually that's like, that is exactly what, when we were right before we started going live, we're talking about Tracy's Braille calculator. I mean, that's what she made, a very specific device to do something specific for someone else that isn't already out there in the world. So I like that definition of physical computing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the very last project in the course is to invent an instrument. Like what can you do beyond sort of the like keys on a piano? How can you extend that and make like a new kind of instrument that lets you like interact with music in a different way? So yeah. So I guess with that, I will dive into the actual demo and have us code together. You can follow along with me. I'm going to be going through actually creating the course, how you can assign Makey Makey to your students, the Makey Makey course to your students, and how you can access it yourself to actually code a project. So the link I'm going to be going to is just vidcode.com. That is, which I did not send to attendees. That's just the link where you're able to sign up, access the courses, and where I'll be going. So like I said, the Makey Makey course is free for the rest of the year, which is really exciting. Colleen and I are actually going to be doing this tutorial together because she has her Makey Makey, and so she's going to like remote in and do the tutorial with me. So from here, I am just going to go up to this big purple create account button on the top right. That's where I'm going to be able to access this free course. And I'm just going to choose educator here. I saw the poll. I think most of you would probably choose educator. If you are a parent doing this at home with your kids, you can do parent or guardian. That just gives you a parent dashboard. Independent coder, if you're a 14-year-old that's watching and want to set up your own account. And a student if you're in a class. But I'm just going to go with educator, assuming that that is the majority of folks here. And then from here, I'm just going to go to sign up with email. Webinar. This is like, isn't my real name, but that's okay. And then submit. Cool. And I'm going to skip this and go straight to Vidcode so I can access the course that we're going to go through together. So here I have my dashboard. The course, my class is already made. JavaScript 101 is assigned by default, but I don't want to go through JavaScript 101. I want to go through physical computing with Makey Makey. So from here, I'm just going to go to preview all courses, go over to physical computing with Makey Makey, and then just assign it. And so those are all the steps to be able to access it. It's not assigned by default. You do have to go into your courses and just assign it, but from then be able to access it like a student and actually go through the tutorial.
Leandro, we have a question in chat that's asking if Vidcode is owned by the administrator of tech in their schools. It's their school Gmail, right? Can they use their school Gmail accounts because it has that link? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. So just an aside, obviously you're probably not going to be going through the course yourself. You're probably going to be going through it with students. So yeah, I definitely recommend having them choosing their Google education accounts because then they don't have to remember passwords, which is way, way better. So from here, you can just go into your like coding section, your class, give students this URL, and they'll be able to use that and just press the sign up with Google button, and then they can access all the courses you've assigned. So if I wanted my students to go through the Makey Makey course with me, I could just add them and have them access the course that way. Oh, thanks, Colleen. Okay, cool. So from here, I am just, if you're following along, I have physical computing with Makey Makey under my assigned courses since I added it from my course library. So I'm just going to go into enter course. And I'm just going to choose the first one. This is the full course pathway. We're going to be adding actually a couple more tutorials before the end of the year. But this is what's here now. And it's a really fun course that starts off with the basics and then goes into students making these different instruments. Oh my gosh, it's 1 a.m. for some of the people watching. Well,
yeah,
thank you so much for joining us.
These are our friends in Iraq that run their own Coder Dojo, and they've been doing some really amazing work in like an Iraqi cinema. They've been doing hands-on physical computing in the cinema by putting up barriers, and it's all very COVID friendly. So not friendly, it'd be COVID anti-friendly. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. Go ahead.
COVID safe.
Yeah, COVID safe.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen any movie theater maker spaces.
Yeah, it's really cool. They're using the cinema space, like that's just got the chairs, and they're able to put up the clear plastic barrier things, and it's just really neat. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. So Colleen, I'm actually gonna go ahead and give you remote control to my screen now.
Okay.
So now Colleen and I are both officially doing this tutorial together. Normally when I do pair programming, there's like a driver and a navigator, but I think we're both just the drivers now. So it's a little bit chaotic.
This will be fun.
Totally fine. So just like a quick tour of where we are. This is the actual coding interface where we're going to be doing our Makey Makey project. So here on the left, there's instructions. You're, as a teacher, going to have access to lesson plans as well. That are going to have things like answer solutions and slides and like all the standards alignment. But this is the text instructions that students have access to, that they actually follow to make these self-guided projects. In the middle here, we have our code editor, our actual like place where I can write code. I usually don't start off in Vidcode by writing code. I usually start off by dragging and dropping and kind of generating JavaScript that I can edit. But as I go further into the course, I can start writing my own code here. On the right, there's this canvas. So this is where I'm actually seeing the output of my project. It's just blank right now because I haven't added anything. This is just a comment, so it's not actually like generating any output. And then down here, I have all of my different media. So here I have like different videos and graphics and like these audio snippets for when I actually start making my instruments. Those are down here. And so I can like upload different notes, and those are going to have, all of the notes are going to be like preloaded in when it gets to those tutorials.
Real quick, we have someone who
Yeah.
didn't see where you came in to get to this. So I don't know. I thought maybe I can share my screen real quick, or you can hit back and come back. I was going to show them how I got into the physical computing class. Do you want me to open mine, or do you want to just go back? There you go. That works.
I can do it again really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so I'm just in my like dashboard right now, my main area. If you don't see physical computing here, you're just going to want to go to your course library and assign it, and then go back. But I just clicked into, I assigned physical computing making key, and then I just entered it. And then I chose the very first tutorial here.
Thanks.
Cool. Cool. And then the other thing to like know about here that isn't used all the time in Vidcode tutorials, but it is in the Makey Makey ones. It's just that we have this log, this like console. So if I want to like know that my code's working or like debug it, I can use these log statements. So I could write like log hello, and it'll show up in my console. I could like I could save something in a variable. Something like that.
Wait, let me type in
and then
there.
I can like see
I
the
can
output
type
in my
in
log.
there.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to use the back of my board. So I'm like, oh, I have a Makey Makey that's been all reprogrammed to numbers and letters. I could have plugged it in. I'm not set it to just, wait. I got this. But I will type in there just because it's fun. All right. So on the back of the board, we have the letters W, A, S, D, F, G, and I can get in those real quick with my jumper wires. And I can plug in here. Let's see if we can do it. Let me just type was, because that's quick, right?
Okay, wait, let me like set it up here. Okay,
yeah.
So there's your quotation marks. You're good to go.
All right, because we have to have the quotation marks, and we have to log is the thing that's telling us to write the words in JavaScript, right?
Exactly.
And then the quotes are just going to be, that's what we're going to get to say. So I should be able to type was. Oh wait, let me refocus my Makey Makey. See if we can do it. Oh, I'm doing it.
Nice.
Well, I put too many A's, but there you go. It definitely worked. So that's
there
cool.
it is.
And if if you haven't done this feature in Zoom, it's pretty cool. There's just a remote that's allowing me to remote into Leander's computer, and it's pretty awesome. And it's a pretty way to test Makey Makey invention too. And the type window just came up, right? When they were typing, someone asked how you got to the type window. So what you did is the only thing that's making it type in the console below is the code log with parentheses and then the quotes and the words, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
the JavaScript
if I
code.
got rid of log here, and just has like,
it won't show up down there.
It won't break anything. Oh, actually, we'll break something. All right, let me set that to a different variable. Okay, so now like there's nothing in the log because we're not logging anything. We're just setting this string to a variable.
And then on the right, the background, the graphics, the audio, that's just one really massive library, right? That's available in any tutorial.
So it's going to be different depending on which tutorial it is. Like the ones that are instruments are going to have like specific audio. But yeah, you'll be able to, a trick actually, if you do want to access, for example, like the concert in one of your instruments, is that even if it's not in the gallery for that specific tutorial, the code will still work. So if you copy this code into your other project, it'll still load the video, even though it's not in the media gallery for that project. So just kind of like a trick.
A little hack.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just reading some of the panelist stuff.
Yeah, it's okay. They're kind of troubleshooting them. They're getting into Vidcode.
So if people want to, you can actually access the link directly, but you won't be able to save anything. So if people are having trouble, you can go right there and at least code along.
Cool.
If someone is signed up as an individual student, oh, cool. I already said to reach out. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got it. She's taking care of them.
Perfect. Cool. So we aren't going to be making an instrument in this tutorial. This is very much going to be an intro where we like just hook up the Makey Makey to our computers, which Colleen has already done, where we're just going to play with some key presses. And we have like this emoji generator at the end that you'll see where we like just have a bunch of code to play around with. And it'll be fun. So here I'm just going to go ahead and press next to get started. Oftentimes when I'm introducing tutorials with students, it can be fun to go through the tutorials with them, especially younger students like 4th through 6th grade. They won't always read, like even as adults. Like I know that I don't always read things, I'll skim. So it can be good to like go through the tutorials with them step by step and then have them go back and do things on their own later to like customize the project or like make their own version. So this is the very, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just say, I love that you have the definitions of hardware versus software here, because that's one of the things that we often tell teachers, that we have kids, you know, pre-COVID, we would have kids partner up and one kid would be, they might use one Makey Makey, but one kid's building the hardware solution and the other kid's building the software solution. So I like that you have that definition even embedded inside the tutorial.
Yeah, because it's not something you always talk about with that language, right? Mm-hmm. Like you don't always think about creating the hardware. You just buy your phone or like work in a computer or something like that. So it's also hidden from us. So it can be so interesting when you actually get to like connect the wires and like build the systems. So the second tutorial goes like deeper into circuits, but sort of just like a quick intro here that hardware is going to be working through circuits that control the devices. And then this step, if you are following along with a Makey Makey, is just going over how to connect the Makey Makey to your computer with a USB. I have like a newer Mac, so I have like USB-C, so I always need like a little dongle, which is super annoying. But if you do have that, you can just like use the dongle to connect it. I like carry 3 around with me at all times.
I have the I'm going to show you just because I have the USB-C and then I have a USB, like it has 4 connectors on it, so that I can plug in a ton of stuff. Yeah,
I have to get one of those because I have the little ones and I always lose them.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yeah, so if the light is on, you know that it's working. Do you want to?
Yeah, you know it's working. How did you get the movie video in there? Did you drag the video? I think you did it so fast I didn't see you, or did you type that?
Oh, for this? No, I didn't type it, although you could. There's really no difference between like generating the code by dragging a block in or an asset in or writing it. But all I did was drag it in. So if I wanted fireworks instead, I could just drag it in from my media gallery and the code's going to update.
Can we drag in Sleepy Cat? I like Sleepy Cat.
Of course. Yes, Sleepy Cat's great.
Sleepy Cat's really cute. And so the JavaScript code saying movie is telling us that that's defining that it's a video, right? And then the video source, you're naming that variable by putting in Sleepy Cat.
Yeah, exactly. So like if I dragged in a JPEG instead, it's just going to be a static image. So we have this like movie type.
Change the image. Oh yeah. It defines as an image versus the movie. Cool.
And the other cool thing, how I mentioned that you can like always write code instead of generating it. If I did want to change the source manually, which is a bit silly to do here, but if I wanted to have a project where I'm like being like a video DJ with my Makey Makey, it would make more sense, right? Because I'd want to like update the video on keypress. So I can just write movie.source and then change it to sleepycat.mp4 and it'll update that way as well.
Oh, you just got right to Sleepy Cat. He's so cute. Sorry, I got excited about Sleepy Cat. So if you were to, now we've got people who want to make things a little more complicated. If they wanted to, this might be your next tutorial. if they want to change the video sources with Makey Makey's click or something like that, that's kind of what they're asking in chat. So that's just something, let's just put that back on the, let's put a pin in it and think about it. It's kind of a neat idea.
So
I don't want to ruin your tutorial.
I think the third tutorial will go through that. I'm not sure if it's switching the movie. I think it's switching audio, but you can use all those same concepts to just like switch the movie instead, for example.
Yeah, that's actually something teachers want to do all the time with Makey Makey. So that's a pretty cool, solution.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
all right,
maybe
so what are we going to do?
Maybe at the end of this project, we can code that really quick just so everyone can see the code.
Yeah. So we have to make a circuit. We already know this because everybody's good with Makey Makey. So this is pretty cool because if your kids haven't used Makey Makey, you actually go through all the beginner steps of like plugging it in. Is the light on? How can I make it work? I'm going to hold Earth and I'm going to press space and the light's going to light up. And I know it's working. In fact, if I clicked here, I could put a big space in Allie's code and mess it up.
Oh, no.
Oh, she's messing up the code. Right. You fix it because I think it's going slow for me.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So then what are we going to do? Are we going to code click?
Yeah. So at first, we're just like checking to make sure that it's working. So just like you can touch something, which you already did and clicked around. Cool. And then this idea that your body is like creating the circuit, which is why the button's getting pressed.
Which is really part of that invention literacy of that is how the buttons work on your computer. That's how the hardware works, completing a circuit when you press down on that keyboard key.
So here, this sort of has the same thing that we were doing before. We kind of jumped ahead, but this idea that we're going to be using event listeners to take data from the Makey Makey and make different things happen. So like, for example, like I'll listen for a certain key press, like mouse down or click down, or like pressing an A or a W, and I'll do things based on that. Like Sleepy Cat appears on A and Monarch Butterfly appears on W, for example. So we're gonna kind of see that happen. So here we have our log message again. Hello, what should I write? Hello, let's write hello. So here we go, same thing that we had before. And then this idea that we're going to be using a print event to update the console. So before and right now, this console isn't like super useful to us. Like it's telling us that our code is running. If I broke my code, this console wouldn't appear anymore. This message wouldn't appear anymore. But it's not telling me anything else, right? So now I want it to update when I actually click on my Makey Makey. And so then I know that that's happening. My hardware is like, or my software is responding to my hardware. So I'm just going to do that by, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you see that this when mouse down button appeared. You can just go ahead and select that and then drag it into your code editor. And so basically this is just checking our canvas, which is here on the right, checking when the mouse is down. So when calling clicks, and then it's going to call this function. So I'm just going to take my hello, I'm going to move it here. And I'm just going to change this to click occurred. Does occurred have 2 R's?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think it has 2. It looks right. Or wait, let's write meow instead.
Oh, it's way better.
Just because it's a kitty cat and it'll. I know it's not going to show up on the cat. I think that's it's going to show up on the console, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could make it show up on the canvas instead. We're just trying to, for this first tutorial, make students just used to using the log for like debugging purposes.
Right, and learning how to use it. Yeah, let's do it. You ready?
We can
test
have it appear on the console instead. Okay. And then I'll have it appear on the console. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, wait, let me click here first. There it is.
Did it work? Oh yeah, it's working. Meow. Oh, meow. Cute. Meow, 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 meow.
Do it.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll stop. Yeah, I like the whiskers.
So if I wanted to have it appear on my canvas instead, I could just, and this is jumping a little far ahead, but I know some of you are Vidcode teachers here. I could just make an empty text object. And then, so like, hi, there it is.
Oh, cute.
And so then I could say, when mouse down, I'm going to update
You
my
want it to do
text
that.
object to be,
Okay.
and so, and then
Meow.
I should say,
Okay.
so it should work. Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Wait, let me refresh this.
Oh, I
Okay.
think you did it. Yeah.
No, I didn't touch anything.
It's
Yeah,
me.
so it's
I
not
did
going
it.
away.
Meow. Ah, yeah. Well, it just stays.
So then, so I could change this to canvas.whenMouseUp, and then I'll change it to nothing.
Nice.
And then I think that should work. Go ahead and try.
All right, let's try it. Okay. Meow.
There you go.
Meow. Look at that. That's so fun. I like coding together like this. So you know what's really cool that is something we didn't really mean to do on purpose, but this is a neat way for your kids who don't have Makey Makey at home to try it by using, if you're using Zoom and you have remote, they can actually, you might have, the teacher might have the actual Makey Makey and the kids over there on that side writing code, and we can test their code for them. It's pretty cool. Meow. Poor kitty. He's so sleepy. All right, that's awesome. Thanks for jumping ahead.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the fun part of like playing in the sandbox, right? I always love to do that with classes too, where especially with younger kids, I'll have like the whole class be the navigator for pair programming, and I'll be like the one driver, and they'll yell out things they want to see happen, and I'll just like be this like magician at the keyboard, like
it's fun. It's
kind
really
of trying
fun.
to explain to them how it's happening. All right, cool. So this step is sort of just like a check-in, like it worked, you did it, this is awesome. This first tutorial is really just about like setting it up and making sure everything's working. And we have this video here for like how it should be working. So it's a really good chance to like pause and have your students check in. But if you are following along, there is now another button all the way at the bottom, and it's called Emoji Generator. So I'm going to go ahead and make some space at the bottom of my code editor.
Awesome.
I'm actually just going to delete this stuff. Bye, meow. I'm going to drag Emoji Generator into my code. And this is going to be a bunch of code. Your students shouldn't get overwhelmed. It's really just here to show them like what an example of what they could be making, and kind of get them excited for the rest of the course. We're just making an array of different emojis here. And every time we click, a different one sort of gets generated. So you see canvas when mouse down. This is exactly the same code that we had before when we were making like the cat appear. The only difference is instead of like saying meow, it's just gonna add like a random location for an emoji. So go ahead.
I'm trying to make sure. I just realized people may not be able to see me. My Zoom is being weird. I don't know if people are seeing my camera, because I was doing all that and I'm not sure they can see it.
Oh, I don't know. That'd be sad.
Oh, they said they can. Okay, good.
Oh,
They
okay, cool.
they may not be able to on YouTube. Oh, it's because I'm talking. Okay, right, got it. Okay. Woo, I'll just make sure I'm talking. All right, so I'm going to generate emojis, right? When I click?
Yep.
That's what I'm doing. Okay, let's see. Did I make one? Oh, I did. How cute. And they show up everywhere. It's not necessarily where my mouse is clicked. They're just randomly, the code right now is randomly generating different plots on the XY coordinate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. Look, and different sizes. Oh, kitty. So fun.
So that's really it. Once your students are like ready to publish their work, they just do it up here, submit, and just to like kind of show you what that final like workspace looks like.
Emoji cat.
It'll just look like this. So anyone will be able to open this page, hook up their Makey Makey, and use the software that that student wrote.
Let me try it. Oh yeah, it's still working. I love it. Cool. So technically, once we learn the other key presses, so right now we just learned mouse up and mouse down, but I'm gonna guess that like the arrow keys are similar. It's gonna be like when arrow key down.
So
I know I'm kind of jumping to the next tutorial. Maybe
yeah.
just real quick we could look at it, because pretty much after that we could code different. Let's say we wanted it to say sleepy cat, say meow, like we turn it into a meme for a second with our click, and then we could use up arrow to do the emojis if we wanted to.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and drag sleepy cat in again.
Okay.
And if your students ever do want to jump ahead, this reference is like a great spot, especially if they have more experience. Like I know a lot of students come in with like Scratch experience or JavaScript experience or Python experience, and they're ready to just like jump ahead. The reference is awesome for that. So you could go ahead and let's see. There's some mouse interaction stuff. Well, somewhere in here is like mouse down and mouse up.
Okay.
So we could do canvas dot when key down instead of when mouse down. Let me click through here. I think my syntax is off a bit. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I've been posting to the whole panelists and not everyone. Ah! I'm sure everyone does this sometimes. Could kids with experience from Scratch and Makey Makey jump right into this tutorial, or do you think they need to start with Java 101?
They could definitely jump right into this tutorial. It does get hard around the fourth activity. So if they are struggling with that, I'd recommend them going back to JavaScript 101. But the first 3 tutorials, 100% they could jump right in with like only Scratch experience without like any JavaScript experience at all.
Awesome. I just realized that I've been only talking to panelists.
Oh no.
But I do have a question before I know we're going to show this, but I want to not forget, because Jody asked us how we were using Makey Makey through Zoom, like what I'm doing here, that how we're able to do this. So we should explain it because it is really cool. All we've done is we actually figured this out during the occupational therapy workshop, is that Leandra has the code up on her screen, and Zoom allows us, once you're sharing a screen, there's a button that says remote control, and you can just click remote control, and then she gave me access to her screen. So that actually came in a lot of help for me and Tom when we were doing, Tom and I, we were doing the emphasis workshop last weekend, because we were able to help people code in Scratch. So I actually had them pull up their Scratch projects, and I was able to help like drag around different things. So it's just called remote control, and it's only in Zoom. I don't know that Google Meet does that yet. So pretty cool. Okay, so what are we learning? Sorry, I didn't want to segue there.
That's okay. That was perfect. I mean, we can sort of, we only have 3 minutes left, so I'd love to get any questions. And really quick, so with this code here, canvas.when key down, you can see it looks a little bit different than when mouse down, because I have this thing getting passed in. So now if I do log E, or I'll make this key so it's like more obvious. Is key a reserved word? Keep it E. So now if you click things, which one it is should pop up in my console.
If I click a thing?
Yeah. Or like a letter.
Oh, you want me to do a letter now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I unplugged the back. Let's get W in. This is my jumper wire.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, W is showing up. It's showing us what key we're typing, right?
Exactly. So this is where we could start to add logic. So it could be like, if the key is E, then like say this thing. If it's W, say this other thing.
Yeah.
And I would just do that. We're getting ahead of ourselves here, but I would just do that with a conditional. So if E, which is just this like variable I passed in, equals W, I don't know, text, meow.
Oh, I typed a W. I'm the bad student right there.
Okay, and this is actually just going to type over itself because I didn't set it to a variable and like change it. But you can go ahead and it'll just have a bunch of text up here.
Oh, I gotta be clicked in the right spot.
There.
Oh yeah, so, I can see the text.
So let me put it in a random place so it sort of looks like the emoji project did.
Yeah. Tell me when.
This is just me making like a random number generator really quick. We'll do the same thing here. Okay, so I think I wrote that right. You can go ahead.
Okay. I'm like, okay, so the thing is that you have to remember is you always have to focus your mouse when you're using it, especially on this JavaScript. If it's supposed to be on the, I have to click on the little kitty cat to make sure I'm in the right spot because that's her canvas. And I keep doing it and then I'm making it, it's making sounds to me. There it goes. Meow, 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 meow.
Oh wait, click another one and it'll be Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So if it's not W, Z's appear.
Oh yeah, there's Z. And there's W. So I didn't remap Makey Makey right now. I'm just using the back of the board, and on the back is WASDFG. And those are accessible in your kit. You have little white wires that come. If you get the stem pack, these really pretty rainbow jumper wires come, and I like to keep them attached. They're like kind of stuck together, but you can pull on them kind of like headphones to change them out. But so you don't actually have to remap Makey Makey for any of the projects. I think they do have a remap project on there, but what keys are you adding on the remap project?
So I think we are using some of the ones that you have on the back.
Yeah.
But when your students are going through it, they can remap any keys that they want.
Yeah.
So if they do want to like expand beyond those, they can remap those instead.
And Patricia, the Chromebooks work with Vidcode. Someone told us that the remote in Zoom doesn't work with Chromebooks. We haven't tried it, so we don't know. But the Vidcode and Chromebooks work fine, so don't worry about that. So yeah, if you need to remap Makey Makey, it's actually easier than it sounds. And on our page, if you just go to makeymakey.com/remap, it should pop up. But there's also a guide that shows you how to remap. It's basically hooking alligator clips up and then navigating what keys you want on there. And so you could be anything, letters, numbers. I say anything. You can't use shift, but you can. Oh, thank you, Claire. You can use enter, and you can, and so that's good because that's actually how Tracy got her calculator to work. She was able to program one of the buttons to be enter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And just to show you really quick, sort of, because you do get to building things and like kind of crafting eventually. So like in the later tutorials, you'll see pictures like this.
Yeah, you have a what is conductive project, and there's a make your own guitar project. That one was really fun. And then the last one's kind of like you invent an instrument, but you could make your own MIDI sampler or something like that.
And this is true for all of our courses. Like the last project is always kind of just like this open sandbox creative journey.
Right. And I think that's another reason we appreciate you at Vidcode, because that is like Makey Makey's thing too. We are a creative coding project, a creative coding invention kit, and we want to hold your hand through some things, and then we want to let your butterfly soar and see what you could make. So what's your sleepy cat meow?
Oh. So I think we're right at time.
That's it.
Anyone have any good questions to sort of get to at the end?
Yeah, awesome. So Christina says she really loves how you design the curriculum to be such truly STEM and project-based, because we're showing the code. You're showing the code. You're showing how to trigger events, and then you're also even thinking about at the end that we want to have something that's project-based and open-ended. So really nice.
the last thing I want to show everyone super quick is just because it can be a bit hard to find, but it's so important. It's just the lesson plans. So the lesson plans and resources are here on the left, and then here's physical computing because I just assigned it, so it's on the top for me. And then this is where you have access to everything. So all of your sample solution stuff, background, external links, like handouts, sharing and reflection prompts, and you have these for every single tutorial, and they're awesome. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone got a chance to see that.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming today and showing us how to use JavaScript and letting us code together and letting me control your computer from my side. I think that was actually really fun. And I actually think that's a really cool way to teach physical computing right now with this weird COVID world of like sometimes kids are at home and sometimes you're on the other side, and that's just really great to try something like that. It's just a fun way to see, because we do have that question a lot. How can we use Makey Makey when we can't send it home to kids? So one thing before we go, and I know this is not this doesn't work with Vidcode, but I did make a virtual Makey Makey for Scratch that I'll put in the chat, just because it's one of those things that's almost like it's on our site, but people don't always know that it exists because I get questions about it a lot. So this is, if you're using Scratch, you can download this Makey Makey, virtual Makey Makey to your backpack and use it in any Scratch project. And I actually, I kept thinking it was something to be kind of cool, but I didn't really know how I would use it or put it together. And Ali from Iraq, who stayed up all the way till 1 in the morning to come today, he was using virtual Makey Makeys a lot in his projects. And I was like, and I started to kind of help me see how to do it. So Ali was my inspiration for getting that to be a real thing in the world. So how lovely to have him here too. And Vidcode does work on iPads, but in the browser, right? So similar to Scratch, you're going to use the browser. And Makey Makey sometimes works on the iPad if you use an adapter. The adapter I like to use is off-brand and no longer made, but the Apple one does work. It works better with the newer Makey Makey. So 1.4 and up. 1.2 was a little bit wonky with the newer, the new iPad adapter. It said it didn't have power, so I don't know how to fix that. But thanks so much for coming today and teaching us JavaScript, and for just a little bit of it, just enough to be dangerous. And I really appreciate y'all, and the fact that you're keeping the Makey Makey tutorial open for the next year, for the rest of the year, since it's only February. That's a long time. And we just thank everybody for coming. And so great. Great to have you here. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. We'll see you on the next webinar. I mean, I guess we're done. Y'all do you have an upcoming webinar you want to talk about before we go?
Oh, Vidcode webinar. I mean, I can share the link. We have just like a getting started with Vidcode webinar. We have them all the time. We also have like more specific ones. So we just had one on like the New York standards that was awesome. And so we'll do more like informational ones about like whatever is happening in the computer science world of K-12. But this upcoming one is just getting started with Vidcode. I just shared the link. So if you want like a more general overview of Vidcode, we're going to be like going over our grading resources and like courses and just how to use everything, like all the extra features, the gallery. That will be like a good one for that. This was obviously more specific to the
this is for us. Yeah, thanks so much for coming. And then our next webinar, I don't have it scheduled yet, but it's going to be on about our resource page, just because I spent the last year of COVID creating this massive resource page for people. So, and I don't know how I'm going to I need to find a way to link it to also add the Vidcode. I got to figure that out. Maybe someone can help me brainstorm a way to visualize a way to send people to your amazing resources too. So thanks for coming today. I really appreciate y'all.